How's it going, everyone, and welcome back to the channel. I'm Vanilla Soup, and today we're gonna talk about a Halo Infinite news update. Yes! I am so happy that we've been getting these small updates every month. It just brings the month to a perfect close, just makes me so happy, and oh man, I just can't wait to talk about this one with you guys. This month's update was all about PC development, but it really does clue us in on a lot of things going on within Halo Infinite in general, and that's kind of the approach I'm going out with this video. So first thing I want to talk about is just how gorgeous this game looks. You know, I was impressed with the Halo Infinite E3 demo last year. Of course, it needed a little bit of visual love and tender care, but oh my gosh, it's beautiful. But I don't think I'm alone in saying that this delay that this game has received might have just been the best thing that's ever happened to this game. Yeah, it really sucked when it was first announced and we were all pretty bummed, but we knew it was for good reason, right? And it's really cool that we're starting to see the fruits of that labor, of that extra time and that extra love put into this game. I'm just really happy with what we've seen so far. You just look at the comparison of these two screenshots and you know this game has so much love and care put into it. The time is being really well spent at 343 on this game, so I'm just very happy with how it's looking and everything that's going on here. And of course, we're going to get into some things that are a little bit more in depth that I think are super interesting, but there's no way I can make a video that covers every single thing in this blog post. So definitely go check the link in the description to this original post. Give it a read because I'm sure you're going to find something there that I didn't cover that you might find interesting as well. One of the things that I think is super interesting, something that we haven't seen before in a Halo game, is this grunt with his backplate. I love the idea of what's going on here. There's two things that come to mind. One, we're getting a grunt that has a little bit more extra armor that makes sense. Not just that it takes more bullets, but that it actually has a line of defense on its body that is more so than a regular grunt. And I think that is super cool. And something else I've seen floating around on Twitter is how cool it's going to be to mess around with this. If we're talking about the Halo Infinite sandbox, this is something that just lights my eyes up. Something that I really want to mess around with. You know, I can see myself throwing a grenade off the back of that grunt to hit something around the corner. Or maybe if I don't have the grapple shot at that time, if I have a grav lift, if that's coming back into Halo Infinite, imagine putting a grav lift on top of this grunt's back and you have this portable hover station. Oh my goodness, the possibilities really are infinite. Another really cool thing that we get from this image is actually way in the back here. That, my friends, is the Halo 3 Guardian design. You know the Guardians from Halo 5? This is how they were originally meant to appear in the franchise. So it's going to be really interesting to see how the story evolves and justifies what we're seeing the Guardians in this way. Maybe Cortana and the Guardians kind of changed their look a little bit. It would make sense considering that the visuals of Halo Infinite are much more in line with the original trilogy of Halo rather than that of Halo 5. And I know a lot of people are huge fans of this design over the Halo 5 Guardian design. I kind of like them both. I'm not gonna lie to you. I think they both have merits to them, but it is really cool to see that this older style is being refreshed and brought into Infinite. I really want to see what they're gonna do with this. In this picture, you can also see that the brutes are starting to get a little bit of hair as promised, which is cool. Rest in peace, Craig, but it's a cool thing to see nonetheless. Also, this banished jackal off to the left here is really interesting to see. I love the colors. You can just see how that shield glistens in the dark Forerunner room atmosphere, and it's just really cool to see all that lighting come together. Imagine how this is going to look when you have ray tracing enabled. Whew, that's going to look good. Also, that Tron aesthetic though. One of the other key things I want to point out in this picture is the handgun symbol in the bottom right hand corner is actually the sidekick, which is a different silhouette than what we have seen in the E3 trailer back in last year. So a lot of people were thinking that this might be an attachment that clips onto the bottom of the handgun, but Unyshek actually clarified on Twitter that that's not an attachment on the sidekick, that's the sidekick. And that actually kind of catches me off guard because even though there was some sort of negative feedback revolving the sidekick in the Infinite trailer last year, I personally thought it was fine. I didn't think it needed to be redesigned completely. Sure, maybe a little bit of touch up here and there to make it look more Halo, but that's actually exactly why Sketch replied to this thread saying it's more Halo-like now, in my opinion, which I do believe also addresses some feedback we heard last summer. So I don't think that the gun is getting a completely different rework. I think there's just a couple touches here and there that really make it look more Halo. So I can't wait to actually see the handgun again with all of its updated glory, because really this is just an icon of the actual weapon. Which brings us to our next screenshot. You know, there is so much that we can dissect here, but out of this screenshot, something that really intrigues me is a small red dot at the top of the hill here. I really want to know if that's something that we're interacting with in some way. I don't know what it is, but I'm intrigued. Also at the bottom of this screenshot, you get to see what looks like a banished chopper. I'm not 100% sure, but it's totally a banished Chopper, which you love to see. In this picture, you also get to see a little bit more of the hexagons that we saw in the E3 trailer last year with a little bit more context. I, for one, have always been on board with the idea of these hexagon pillars coming out of the ring. It's kind of a really cool lore-centric way to tell the passing of time on Zeta Halo. The ring is repairing itself. It's gonna be really cool to see how that evolves over time. When new areas unlock, maybe the ring kind of fixes that area and now you could go there. There's so many practical and visual effect reasons why I love these pillars and this concept of them that I think people were just a little bit too harsh in that trailer last year. So it's really cool to see this in more context, just a little bit more variety in it. So I hope people can kind of start to see the potential here because it looks really good and I'm going to stand by that. One other really cool thing, something that I've been begging for literally years, is that Halo Waypoint is actually getting its own app on iOS and Android now. I am just so excited about this because I'm tired of logging into a website when I should just be able to look up my information on the phone, checking for MCC flights. It's gonna be really cool to have push notifications come from emails or Spartan companies or whatever. Also to even see your service record on the fly and compare with your friends. 343. Good job. Claps. Good job. I'm very happy. And then at the end of this update, Joseph Staten concludes with sending some words to the community. And one of the things I'm most intrigued by is he says, while I hope you enjoyed this month's 1,000 word screenshots, we know that game videos are worth at least 10,000 words. And the great news is that summer, i.e. game industry event season, is just around the corner and there are glorious plans afoot. E3?
Oh yeah, it's all coming together.
And it's not just E3 that's the possibilities. We got Jeff Keighley's Summer Games Fest, and we got Xbox Fan Fest. So there's a lot of opportunities to show off Halo Infinite this summer. We did get clued in on this update that the development really is kind of winding down and getting into that polish step, as we've heard about and suspected for quite a bit now. So we're getting to the point where they just need to show this game as much as possible to get the word out to maybe those people who aren't as in the know as you and I. So that's it for today's update. I hope you guys enjoyed your time on this video. I thought it'd be a good idea just to kind of make it a bite-sized, digestible stream of video for you. But again, if you want to know every single detail, you'll have to go and read that blog post in the description below. But if you enjoyed the video, definitely consider liking and subscribing. It helps out the channel a lot. And until next time, I'll see you online. Vanilla Soup, out.